This trip is going to be unbelievable. I think it's a dream trip for most people, and when Craig first approached me about it, he had his boat here in Vilanculos. He's just done a charter to Bassus, making a documentary which I can't wait to see about the wreck of the San Diego. And he's got to get back up to Pemba because he's doing charter work on the Lazarus Bank. So when he said to me there was the opportunity to sail from Vilanculos to Pemba and do some fishing on the way, we just couldn't pass that up. And for those that don't know, that's like sailing from Durban to Cape Town. But on the way, there's a whole lot of islands. There's two big groups. The first ones are the Primeras. When you get outside those islands, there's a place called the David Shoal. And David Shoal is about 70 miles long, and it comes up, there's pinnacles that come up to like 3 meters. There's drop-offs down to 600 and 200. And nobody really knows. A couple of guys have been there. Another chap that's coming with us, Duarte, who operates in this area. He specializes in bullfish and does charters. And he said the fishing is just out of this world, especially on the outside. The sad thing is that on the inside of the islands, you've got a huge prawn fishery around Beira. And then as you go further north, the locals are actually getting to the islands, and there's a huge sort of almost subsistence fishery there. So the inside, although it's pretty remote and desolate, has definitely taken a knock, but the outside is almost pristine. It's going to be unbelievable.
Well, we're at Vilanculos now, and we're just waiting for the tide to fill up so we can get onto the yacht and head off on our trip. We've been here since yesterday, about 1 o'clock, and just waiting, getting everything ready, waiting for the guy on the yacht to inspect it and see if everything's all right. But yeah, we seem to be heading off now, so hopefully when the tide comes in, we're going to leave.
But it was a wonderful opportunity for me to take Blaine along, my son, and I know he's absolutely sick for fishing. He loves this kind of thing, and it's an adventure that I would love to have done as a kid his age. I mean, we had adventures, but they were small. This is huge. To sail from Durban to Cape Town, so to speak, in waters that you've never been to before, that not a lot of people can actually tell you about. You know, there's that fatherly instinct. You want to just make sure that your son's safe. I've been instructed by his mother to make sure that he's safe. And I think for him, it must be unbelievable to do something like this. I'd love to have done this with my dad.
Well, it's a very special experience for me, especially coming with my dad on a trip like this, because he's always told me about all these amazing places he's fished, and I've always dreamt about going to them. And now, finally, I'm eventually here in Mozam, in one of the best places I can fish in Mozam. And we're sailing to some very, very exciting fishing spots. So it's very, very nice sharing this experience with my dad. So I'm expecting this trip to be like once in a lifetime. Obviously, I've never sailed before, so it's a first experience for me. And apparently the fishing is really wild on the edges of these islands we're going to. And some big GTs, some big dogtooths, some really nice fish. And that's what I'm aiming to catch, because I haven't caught any of those really big fish. And we've got all the right tackle, the good lures, and everything we want to test, so we seem pretty prepared. We just need to get there now and start fishing.
All right, things are starting to happen now. It's not going to be long, and the tide's going to be coming in, but you can see already we've got the two tenders here, and the guys are loading everything up. And we heard a little while ago, Morgan was having a look at the long-range weather, and we've got a southwesterly coming tonight, which is going to push us along quite nicely. It's going to blow up to 20 knots, which is going to get into the sails and is really going to get us going. We just can't wait to get there and start fishing tomorrow morning. We're getting to the end of day 2 now, and it's been a tough day and a tough night the night before. Some really sort of hard sailing, especially for the guys that haven't done much of this. Craig, is it normally this sort of rough in this area?
Actually, we're really lucky. The wind's been great. So I wouldn't call it rough. I'd say we've had happy sailing this week. 32 hours, we've done 200 miles, and it's been quite comfortable. We've had one incident with our cameraman leaving his hatch open, and he got a bit drenched, but that's about it. And a bit of rain. But I think the most uncomfortable thing is the rain.
Now the rain, and that's not normal, is it?
Not this time of year.
Amazing, the kind of rain that we had. It woke me up in the middle of the night. It was really pelting down. And it's amazing. The other thing that happens is when it gets dark, 1 or 2 guys start feeling a bit queasy. Is that sort of normal?
Always normal. You lose your equilibrium. So when you lose sight of land, you lose sight of your surroundings, your mind starts playing a few games.
It's amazing. So it's
even our gilly's feeling a bit seasick.
And he's a seasoned sailor. Yeah, so it's quite amazing. The sea's been pretty good by sailing standards, but I mean for the average guy, it's been a bit hectic. It sort of rolls around a bit. A couple of waves look as though they might break over the boat. But we've done a lot of mileage. It's been great, and hopefully tomorrow at about what, 8 o'clock?
Hopefully between 8 and 9.
So tomorrow morning is the morning. I think everybody's vibrating. I know Morgan's been sorting out his tackle all day. Dwight's been looking at the chart all day. I've had a good look at this. The places that we're seeing here are quite amazing. It's just the drop-offs and just a line of reefs, just one after another. So it all starts tomorrow morning, and I think we're going to have some amazing fishing. Woke up this morning with wind and rain, some squalls coming through. It's day 3, we've got 33 miles to go, and it's looking pretty exciting. Our ETA is around 11, which is going to give us a bit of pushing tide, which is normally very good on these reefs. We'll zoom in here and have a look at what it looks like. So that's where we're heading to, and you can see there's 200 meters and it goes up to 10 meters. That's where we're going to get the fish. As we got close to Pontyloon, we started seeing more and more action on the surface, and with the trolling gear out, we were instantly into a few fish. We've just had so much action recently. There's Morgan and them have had some teasers out here looking for sailies. And we had sailies come up on them, and then all of a sudden there was a shoal of tuna, and I mean there's birds everywhere, so these tuna have just suddenly appeared, and they started smashing all the teasers, and I threw a plug out there, and one ate it almost instantly, and it came off, and as it came to the surface, another one just smashed it. So, yeah, it's going to be, I think these are quite decent fish as well. But I think this is the beginning of the excitement of our trip. Suddenly we're just seeing fish everywhere. Oh, it was a lovely big yellowfin, and I was trying out this new GD ice cream, which has got an amazing green glow to it. And I just wanted to get a few pics close here and make sure that the fish was a little bit tired, because when they're green and you put them on the boat, they just beat themselves to death and they bleed like anything. So we kept it in the water for quite a while, trying to get it sort of a little bit calmer so that we could get it out and get the hook out. And fortunately the hook came out right here, so fantastic release. And yeah, I'm really chuffed. Nice fish on this run. You know, put a gun on the back there.
hoping for a yellowfin or a tuna for some sashimi for lunch. I think we got him, hopefully. Skipjack. Looks like a skippy. I don't know if it's a skipjack, yeah? So nice size bonnie here. It's probably our biggest bonnie we've ever caught. It's on this new yellow GT ice cream. It's nice fight, a very big fish. It's a little bar snapper on a squiddy jig, fishing on this reef here. Not too big, but nice fish anyway.
When these fish are young in particular, they've got some spots on them and they call it a twin spot snapper. You can see there's a faint mark there and a faint mark there. This is still quite a young fish. On the one side they're a lot more evident. There you can actually see the spots. When he's really young, they're white. So he's getting a bit older now and he's losing those spots. Let him go, yeah. Well done. The next thing we saw was a huge showing on a fish finder, which was just too good to pass up. So we stopped, and instantly with jigs we were just straight into fish again.
What lesson was that, Morgan? What lesson was that? Spotted rock cod of some description. A whole lot of what he's been eating.
just jigging this sardine color iron candy down to the bottom there. We've got a nice sized bluefin. Very nice looking fish, very pretty. Eh?
Beautiful tomato rocket. Right. Each of us went on at almost the same time and got some beautiful swallowtail rock cod. Every time I catch one of these, I'm blown away at how beautiful they are. It's just such an amazing fish. The volume and the variety of fish here is absolutely incredible, and it's purely because it's a long way offshore, it's hard for anybody to get there, and it's suitable habitat that's pretty much like your inshore zone. And a lot of your inshore fish like queen mackerel and salad fish or needle-scaled queenfish, that kind of thing, are prevalent in these areas. Nobody else can really go there because it's so remote, and any bad weather, you've got a long way to run. That's the main reason why there's so many fish here. I got no idea what this is. They're pretty fish though. What is this thing, Morgan? Ah, small rock cod. It's a small rock cod. More often than not, we'd stop at a place because we'd seen something on the fish finder. The cameraman not even ready. The two anglers that are in the water are instantly on, and it's just chaos.
our way to Pantaloon 1, we saw a lot of bird action and fish, and we were pulling the teasers, and we saw a lot of tunny and yellowfin busting on the teaser. So we put Rapala out, and that got eaten almost straight away, and my dad gave me the rod. So I fought the fish, and it was my first yellowfin ever. It was probably like around 15 to 20 kilos. It was a nice fish. And we got some yellowfin action. We saw some salies. We didn't hook any, but we saw them. They were taking the baits and dropping them, so it was quite good. A lot of action, and then it just looked better and better further north we went. So as we got further north, it just got better. More birds, more fish, more whales. Everything. The sea just looked more alive. So we got to this Pantaloon 1 and started with the jigs, and almost straight away I got a nice bluefin. Got a big rock cod, my biggest rock cod I've ever seen, or caught, about 30 kilos almost. And I got, I think, 4 bluefin kingies, probably the biggest bluefin kingies I've ever caught. And I got, I think, 3 or 2 GTs, so first GTs of the trip, so it was very fun. And yeah, we got a big cooter, Dwight got a nice cooter.
Well, I think today has turned out to be a really nice day in spite of what has been happening. First of all, we had problems with the fish finder. We got that going, but then we got to this reef, which we've all been so excited about. And the color of the water is terrible. It's actually a sort of a greeny color. Whereas it should be like turquoise, or because it's so shallow, it's like 10 meters in places. We should be seeing the bottom. So I was quite apprehensive. I thought we were going to battle to get pulls, but we caught some amazing fish. We hooked all kinds of different fish. There's a huge number of species that we hooked, and you can see there's a lot of action here. So we've anchored here tonight now, and hopefully we won't have any drama during the night. And tomorrow morning, hopefully we wake up and the water's a totally different color, and we'll catch a lot of fish. I'm sure we're going to catch some more fish tomorrow.